Dorian, can we trust you to do the right thing?
I have the correct ring,
Nobody has
trust
to
me!
see that.
But Dorian, that's not how switcheroos work.
Me, Imogen!
Dorian, listen to me. This is how you do a bait and switch.
Can I shut her out of my brain?
You can.
Yeah! I will shut Imogen out of my brain.
All right.
What the heck just happened in episode 13 of Critical Role? I have no idea, but I love it. This has got to be my favorite episode yet. I am the BookTube Goddess, the #1 drag queen booktuber on YouTube. I analyze the episodes in terms of story, so there will be spoilers. Okay. We have to talk about this episode. This is the kind of episode that we all love. The heart of the action. We're not setting things up. We're not doing research or investigating. We are in the thick of it. Finally, the parties arrive at the ball. According to the plan, they split up into two groups. Lord Eshtaroth has Chetney, Laudna, FCG, and Ashton. Dorian has Fearne, Orem, and Imogen. Everyone is at this ball. At least most of the people will have met through the campaign. Oshad Brescio is there, the guy Orem had been hunting. Ella Loomis, the mother of the Loomis twins, is there. We see Gianna Hexam, the patron of Ashton, as well as Valley Durtana, who has connections with the Nightmare King. And of course, Armand Treshy is there, who is believed to be the one behind everything the Nightmare King is doing. The party is going to try the old bait and switch routine, where the ring he wears on his thumb is replaced with another ring that looks exactly like it but has a magical tracker on it. He's with a mysterious woman named Lady Emeth Cade. But most surprising is finding Dorian's brother there, Cyrus Wyvernwind. Yes, the brother who has a bounty on his head and is supposed to be lying low. There's a bunch of other people we haven't seen before, but may have heard about. Members of the Paragon's Call, the mercenary company led by General Ratanish. We see a goblin named Professor Grizz, and he has a lead to Adjet Dale, who is supposed to be able to help Chetney control his lycanthropy. Anyway, there are three main events that happen in this episode. First, the mission involving the bait and switch of Armand Treshy's ring. Second, Chetney investigating the mysterious Lady Emeth. Third, the consequences of Ashton wearing a mask. Remember I mentioned that last week, resembling the Nightmare King. But let's jump right into the bait and switch mission. There is a big dance, among which Dorian, Fearne, and Laudna join in. Dorian has the ring. Imogen is off to the side trying to use telekinesis to slip the ring off of Trescio's finger. That doesn't work. But Fearne manages to dance with Trescio, and as he spins her off to another partner, she uses sleight of hand to pull the ring off of its thumb, and it goes tumbling to the floor. Trescio, of course, notices and begins to immediately look for the ring. And by the way, Dorian is nearby. So this is a perfect setup. All Dorian has to do is pick up the ring, switch it with the fake ring, and hand it back to Trescio. It's the perfect setup. So simple, so smooth. What could go wrong? If you've watched the episode, you know exactly what happens. For some reason, Dorian does not seem to understand what bait and switch means. Imogen tries to tell him, and he completely shuts her out. He somehow thinks he can't pick up the real ring because he holds the fake ring. I mean, what? So instead, Dorian kicks the ring. He kicks it. I guess he thinks the real ring needs to be lost before he can hand over the fake ring. I don't know. But Laura Bailey, who plays Imogen, completely loses it, which is priceless to watch.
As we're looking over, I'm gonna try to just twist the ring and try to take it off.
Hand in hand.
Come.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check.
He's on guard!
As you spin, the music picks up. There's a crescendo and a crash of the cymbal, and he spins you. And as he does, you grab just a little bit tighter than was expected on his thumb, and you feel a pop, like you had popped the thumb out of a socket a little bit, and the ring slips off in your grasp. So while it doesn't go unnoticed, it didn't seem overt, and he kind of like reaches down for a second, takes the hand, and looks up at you with like a.
Who's got the ring? You got the ring?
At which point, Gavis is now coming towards you to take your hand. While you feel the ring in your left, what do?
Drop it, Fearne. Ping.
Oh, Jesus.
Dorian, Dorian, pick up the ring.
This is the moment of
Dorian,
transition.
Pick up the ring.
As the
Hold on,
cymbal
hold on.
crashes hit,
Pick
and you're
up the ring.
transitioning out
Notice
of it,
it
you
happen.
see
Pick up the ring.
Fearne being tossed away from Armand, and a little point of silver just on the ground.
I'm gonna pretend I don't notice and start dancing with
Among
Gavis.
feet?
Notice it. Notice it. Save the day.
Why do I need to pick up the ring? I have the right one!
Dorian, notice he dropped it and saved the day.
Fine.
Switch the ring.
And I will. Is this a transition?
It is your. This is just happening right
is
at the
the
middle of the
perfect
transition
moment.
point.
You got some sleight of hand.
I will push past everyone. Oh, God!
Yes.
And walk straight up to him in a tango-esque fashion.
No, pick up the ring from the fucking
I
ring.
have the correct ring.
No, but he has
Trust
to
me.
see that
Trust
you
him.
picked
Trust me, Imogen. And can I shut her out of my brain?
You can.
I will shut Imogen out of my brain.
All right.
And as I approach,
Armand has spun around holding his thumb and is like looking on the ground at this point over kind of in the loose vicinity before glancing over at you as you approach.
and I have in the transition pulled the tracking ring out of my pocket, and I have it in my dancing hand, and I approach Armand, and as I do, I clock the ring, and I try to kick it off the dance floor, his ring. Just get it out of view.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Come
This is gonna be
With advantage.
with advantage because of the spell.
All right. Terrible. I know.
It's gotta be better. It's gotta be better than that. No, is it a 1? Nope, it's not good.
That was an 11.
Okay.
An 11. Okay.
It's
So
double digits.
So
That's great.
as Armand turns towards you, glancing over, you see like a look of recognition on the ground. Hasn't quite acknowledged your presence quite yet. Knows you're coming, but is more interested in where the ring went. Just as you kick the ring and it he goes, shit. And like is now beginning to like ignore you to go after the ring that has now begun to be tossed around in the crowd.
My lord, my lord, the dance. Please, one round. I've been waiting all night to see you, please. Bronte, second son.
Make
Just
a
a moment.
persuasion check. Just a moment, I have something to deal with. Here, and he kind of looks over and takes somebody else's hand who's coming towards him and connects both of you aggressively and says, ha, there. And you can see other people are now kind of like looking confused as he's starting to push the crowd, still holding his thumb. As you can see, it's like it hurt from the process, but he's like still looking around
I'm
and
looking for it.
I
I'm telling
kicked the
SCG to
ring.
look for
Is
it.
it going to
Okay.
anybody that in my party that I see?
She just told me to look for the ring, so
I'm
I'm
looking
gonna
for the
do
ring.
a
We're both
perception
trying
check
to
to
Make a
try to
perception
find
check.
it. Can I guide myself?
you can.
I will guide myself. You no longer have advantage on Dex.
We do need it because he noticed it fucking moved.
We have the one that we need to
I
give
know,
him.
but you have to show that you picked up the one that fell first.
The other one's identical.
18.
He saw it.
18. You do see, and when it got kicked by Dorian, it got kicked into the crowd, which in the middle of the dance got kicked by numerous others, and has now kind of been lost in the shuffle. They haven't noticed. Somebody else has noticed. The people that were nearby are just wondering why Armand's acting strange. Nobody saw the ring or noticed any oddness about it. So Armand's just now starting to kind of push the crowd.
Okay, so everything has gone to shit. People are on the ground searching for the ring, including Imogen, but fresh cut grass is the one who spots it and picks it up. Okay, so all we need to do is drop the fake ring on the floor for someone to find, right? Dorian could have simply rolled the ring on the floor and shouted, "Oh, there's the ring," right? No. He decides that someone in the party needs to hand over the ring, so he throws it in the air at Fearne. I don't know whether to laugh or cry at this point.
I'm gonna try to throw the tracking ring to Fearne. I'm gonna try to toss it to
I
her.
love it. I love it.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to toss it to her.
All right.
Okay.
No one crimes well.
All right. So, so in the middle of this chaos, you lock eyes with Fearne, and you, as the person's like about to reach towards you,
I reach for them and try to just try to skyhook it over to her.
okay. I would like you, Dorian, to just roll a d20 and add your strength modifier.
Okay.
Come on, bud.
Oh, that's the best roll you've done tonight.
It's fine. I'm not great. 13.
13's okay. You, with a quick little flick of the wrist and having experience throwing axes and, kind of lobbing things at around this distance towards a specific target, you feel pretty confident.
When I watch Critical Role on Twitch, which by the way is free if you have Amazon Prime, I usually put it on full screen because I find the chat window distracting. But I had to know the reaction of people watching all this go down, and everyone was losing it. The comments were absolutely hilarious. Most were like me, completely gobsmacked that Dorian was doing so much so wrong. Some people were defending him as a new player, but honestly, that's not an excuse. The simple concept of switching one ring for another, you don't need to be an experienced player to understand. Other people defended him, saying it was the stress of the moment, which I'm kind of sympathetic to, but most comments were not so sympathetic. Anyway, Fearne catches a ring, which of course people see, but she thinks fast and says, "Oh, she just got a marriage proposal." She goes off the dance floor, flips the ring to Imogen, who's on the floor pretending to look for the ring, and Imogen calls out that she found it and hands it to Trescio.
So you get grabbed and pulled, and as you do, your hand catches it, but also loosens it, and kind of flies a little bit further in the air. You try and catch it again, it gets knocked up again, and a third time you do manage to catch it. And as you hold it, the person who's holding your hand is pulling you to dance goes like, fascinating.
He just proposed.
Oh, congratulations!
I'm like,
That's incredible!
I have to go tell my girlfriends.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave.
As you disengage, you can see people nearby being like, did she just get married? Like,
I am going to walk towards where Imogen is.
now, Imogen, as you are on the ground at this point, looking around, two hands hit the ground, and you look up to see Armand there, and goes like, did you find it?
I'm looking everywhere. Sir.
Carter. And you see him he's telling people, move out of the way. People shifting back and starting to call the space. Armand carries enough weight, it seems, in these spaces where when he uses that tone of voice, people listen, whether or not they're considered equals in the front of social exchange. And he is now kind of looking around.
I'm gonna crawl towards Fearne as she's walking towards me.
Okay. You and Fearne begin to head towards each other.
Keep it in your hand, Fearne. Okay. As I stand up, I'm gonna say, I found it! And grab it out of Fearne's hand.
Yes, I'm gonna walk by and we'll just do a quick.
Sir!
Stands up.
I don't know why I got so excited.
Roll a deception check.
Come on,
Come on, baby,
bitch.
come on.
Come on.
He's looking real anxious.
Do it.
I'm not
Okay.
18.
18. Kind of gives you a look.
Sorry, I don't.
It's hard to get good help these days.
If you're looking.
It just like completely closes off to you and turns over to see you and goes, "You are an extremely clumsy dancer."
Well. Rude.
Good one.
Sure, fucking told him.
This is going to be an iconic moment in Critical Role history. I feel sorry for Robbie Turner, who plays Dorian. He probably got an earful not only from Laura Bailey, who plays Imogen, but from the fan base. But he shouldn't feel bad. Even though he messed up, everything turned out all right at the end. And it had to be one of the most entertaining moments I've seen in this campaign to date. So, well done. The second main event involved Chetney. He was tracking the mysterious Lady Emeth, who had been acting suspiciously all night. Ashton first clocked her, and he perceived it looked like she was waiting for a signal. When she went out the back way, Chetney followed her scent, which was kind of moldy. He turned invisible to hide from the guards, though he failed a few die rolls and the guards almost found him, but he managed to elude them and clock the room that Lady Emeth went into and listened at the door and heard some weird sounds. He opened the door and didn't see anything of importance, so he made his way invisibly back to the ball, but then he realized that Cyrus, Dorian's brother, was nowhere to be seen. Earlier, Cyrus had been talking about having some sort of deal with Lady Emeth. Realizing that Cyrus went into the back where he just left, Chetney, who does not seem to be happy about it, decides to go back and check out if he's okay. So he goes back to Lady Emeth's room to see if that's where Cyrus went, but finds instead something else entirely. Those little mutated shade creepers, which Chetney hadn't seen before, but the audience has, are ransacking the room. And then Lady Emeth appears and begins transforming into that same type of Lovecraftian creature that Duger transformed into back in episode 5. Cyrus still can't be found, but Chetney smartly runs away.
Okay.
After I pulled on Orm's elbow skin and was going to make over to Estros, they all started to move. So I stopped, remembered where I was, and looked back towards the table where I last saw Cyrus sitting at that table. Is he still there?
No.
Do I see him anywhere?
Make a perception check.
Come on.
Nope. This is not a. This is just a single roll, right?
Yeah, that's just your vision.
Natural 19 for a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You glance through the crowd and keenly come to the conclusion that he is not among them. And you recall that person that entered the hallway and asked about the bathroom that helped you escape. That sounded like him.
Fuck! Stupid brother! Pronto! Fuck! I don't care! She smelled it like mold! I'm gonna go back to the door.
Okay.
Dorian. God.
Down the hallway back to the door where Moldy Lady was.
Okay.
Are they past that door? So I might have an opportunity to work some lockpick.
You can certainly try.
I will, if I have a moment to try and lockpick the.
You have a moment.
I will try. That is just a sleight of hand check, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Because he didn't tell anyone where he was going.
Nope. It says maybe. 15.
15's okay. It looks like the lock on this was already kind of previously busted a little bit.
Not the first.
Like recently.
Oh.
And so while it was locked, it's partially damaged. So you actually have an easier time getting through than you expected you would. And it unlocks.
I'll try and softly open this fucking creaky ass door that needs some WD-40.
That's a cantrip, actually.
But in fact, because I know it's so creaky, as I open it, I'll also just let it fall open, but I'll slip inside.
Okay. You
commit to it.
Head into it as it gives them one little creak. And the first thing you notice is there's a very faint commotion in the room. It sounds like things moving and shifting. You glance across the way as you kind of move inside and look over, and you can see the desk in the far corner, the drawers are pulled out, and you see a figure is currently like scooping things out of the drawers.
Is it Lady Emoth?
It's smaller. It's like a cloaked figure. Looks kind of your size, if a little bit smaller than your size, actually. Maybe like a foot or so smaller. And you can see it's currently like filling like a rough satchel.
Do I smell anything? Familiar smell?
That musty smell, very strong.
Any sign of Cyrus?
Not in this room, no. You hear something else in the way, and across the way in the other room, you see two more little humanoid creatures, cloaked, rushing through, and they're just like grabbing things.
What the fuck?
Wow.
The one finishes and turns around, and you see now, in the light coming through from the Catha-lit evening on the distant balcony, this figure's hood back, gray, pale skin, black eyes, sharp teeth in a mouth, and clawed arms underneath. You've not seen a creature like this before. And it's kind of clustering and drags it, and you see two more come through. They kind of growl at each other, and you can see there's now like 4 of them in this room.
4?
And around the way, you see Lady Emoth, kind of like, her eyes black. You can see like kind of darkened veins in the side of her neck. She goes towards them. You can see her arms are a little bit longer, and that sweat is kind of dripping off in like a thicker, mucusy pattern. They all look to her, and she goes, and they all grab their satchels and drag them off into the room around the corner where she was.
Okay. Does she follow with them? They all go in the other room?
They all go in the other room. You hear the dragging sound. You hear like the shifting of furniture. And she kind of like... You watch as bones snap into place, and her skin tone kind of reaffirms itself, and she... And then begins to walk around the corner to see the door open and goes,
I'm out before she can close it.
The final main event of the evening was entirely unexpected, at least for me. Ashton, wearing the Nightmare King mask, gets the attention, of course, of Valley Durtana, who we know was working with the Nightmare King, even though obviously he didn't like him. He confronts Ashton, and Ashton plays it dumb, but then Valley Durtana sends over General Ratnish, the leader of the mercenary group Paragon's Call, which I think we now know firmly is being established as the rival to the party. Ratnish rips off Ashton's mask. Ashton slaps Ratnish. Ratnish slaps Ashton. And soon enough, it escalates to a duel, which apparently is not unheard of at these types of events. So the entire ballroom is excited about the duel, and Ashton and Ratnish go outside to fight, followed by almost everyone else in the ball who are excited for a little bit of entertainment.
You're glancing over and seeing Volley kind of push the crowd, glances over in the direction of Armand, who is currently caught up with the dance, looks over, and beelines it to Ratanish.
Who does? Armand?
No, Volley does.
Volley does.
That's probably
Okay.
Volley goes to Ratanish
100% he does.
and they begin to talk to him, and Ratanish is already in the middle of a dance and kind of like gives a nod and prematurely breaks the dance that he's in, turns and looks to Volley. Volley, this conversation, and points over to you. The Rotanish goes.
Shit. Oh no.
And they both separate.
Shit.
I'll follow Rotanish.
I'll follow Volley.
Follow Rotanish.
Just clocking.
Okay. It's easy for you to follow Rotanish. Rotanish is coming to you. Rotanish
Oh God.
begins to step over you. Not quickly, but definitely with an air of taking up more space than they were in the chamber. Your head kind of turns to one side as they approach. Friend, I have not found the chance to ask your name. Who are you?
I don't usually really give it. I'm just working, man. Oh, what do you need?
Orm is making his way over to the crowd.
I am. I'm a fan of that unique ensemble you are wearing. Where did you procure this ghastly mask you wear?
It was a gift. I don't know. This is all. It's not my stuff. I don't know. Someone said a mask would be funny or something. I don't know.
Make a deception check.
Come on.
One of us has got to roll well for that.
Ooh, that's real good. 7. I'm not really trying.
What is it? Cursed.
This has been a rough night of rolls, y'all. Pardon. Might I inquire as to which friend you borrowed these from?
You
hear the knuckles.
I wouldn't get hired for my services if, I just went around willy-nilly giving people's names, but, I am available for hire.
What services do you offer?
Usually whatever services someone needs, especially if it's apparently standing around in a costume.
They lean close to you. And rip the mask from your face.
It's tied. It'll be a.
I know.
I have to pull.
He's a big old Goliath. I don't think it'll
Break the
string.
mask.
It doesn't matter.
It's
Yeah,
made of,
it's
like,
fine. It's paper.
I mean, it's
scrap.
leather
Yeah.
thongs. It's leather thongs. Leather.
It is tied. But this is a strong
It snaps.
individual. It snaps.
He's a half giant, right?
Yeah.
They're kind of holding the mask, like the fingers, but they're not even looking at the mask, they're just looking at you.
I
Wait, what did he say? What was it?
pulled the mask.
He's wearing another mask underneath.
I'm gonna start.
Mask all the way down.
It's incredible!
I'm gonna start rolling over there. Or
I think
I was also heading that.
I'm going for a weird response. I'm gonna slap him.
Oh shit!
Yes.
Roll an attack roll.
Oh, God.
Guys, when you have a barbarian in your class, you can count on a certain number of things.
Where
to
am I?
happen.
Okay, I gotta see what are my attacks?
Just roll, just roll and add your strength modifier.
Oh no, I see it.
There.
24. Sir. Sir. Please.
I like you. Goes to slap you back.
Slap fight.
We're playing slapsies. At that point.
16?
Yeah.
That's my AC.
Only one thing to do.
You do take a point of damage.
Did he take a point of damage too, or no?
I don't think you didn't say you slapped with the intent to hurt.
No, I didn't.
I
hit. I don't want to insult the guy, so
Yeah. He slapped to do just a little bit of damage. Just to escalate.
Sir. I like you too. It's a pleasure. You can keep that if you like, I suppose, if it really offended you.
This is your response.
I mean, we can keep going if you like, but, slap fighting. I'd want a drink for it if we're gonna make this the game.
I think the initiation is enough to begin. Slapping, well, it is children's games.
Well,
But You drew blood originally. And you see now, like, the teeth are now red from where you hit right in the lip. You broke some blood vessels.
Wow, I didn't think that would hit that hard. I figured you could take a little more.
You see, when I taste blood, it's hard to get it out of my mind. How about we take this outside?
I don't know what the rules around here are.
We take this outside. If you do not have a weapon, it will be provided.
Are we doing weapons, or do we just do this with, you know, the good old way?
Make a persuasion check.
All right. I don't want to stop this.
I know. Do you want to stop it?
I don't know.
I want a fist fight,
I
man.
want to see where it goes. I feel like if we stop it, it'll add to this.
What'd you roll?
12.
12. You prefer fists?
I mean, again, this is fancy. It seems the way to go. And I feel like you want something. So, like, let's put a wager on it.
What do you ante for this wager?
I don't know. What do you want from me? You came up, yeah. Talk to me. What do you want?
If I win, I'll take what I want. Then slaps the hand on your shoulder and begins to kind of push you in the direction of the entrance.
I shove that hand off and start walking towards the entrance.
Okay.
Taking my jacket, yeah.
Make a strength check.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they did say something about approved dueling.
Approved dueling, yeah.
But it has to be outside.
Certain people work out their disagreements in public environments.
Natural 20.
You slap the hand off and continue on with your grace and pride.
What is the reaction of the room to this?
Oh, the dancing has begun to die down, and about 15 to 20 people are all now watching this happen, and already whispers are starting to shoot through the crowd. This is taking the attention of the room very quickly.
The episode ends here, so next week will be a continuation of the ball. We will definitely have combat between Dorian and Ratnish. And dare I think we could get an epic battle with Lady Emeth? Could the ball extend to 3 episodes? It certainly became much more than what I was expecting, and all the setup and lead up to it certainly is giving us a fantastic payoff. Before I forget, I want to briefly touch on what I think is a Lovecraftian inspiration for this storyline. If you don't know, H.P. Lovecraft wrote mostly short stories back in the 20s and 30s where he developed the cosmic horror genre. His Cthulhu mythos has inspired many, many authors, and it's one of my favorite horror genres to read. Strangely enough, I kind of prefer works inspired by Lovecraft more than Lovecraft's actual writing, but his best works, in my opinion, are The Shadow over Innsmouth and The Color Out of Space. Lovecraft was also known for his racism. But what's amazing is that the Lovecraftian mythos has taken on a life of its own, and it has been appropriated or maybe even subverted from a minority perspective, which you may have seen in Lovecraft Country by Matt Ruff, which was turned into an amazing HBO series. Winter's Tide and Deep Roots by Ruth Anna Emery's is one of my favorite horror duologies. And most recently, we got The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. In this D&D campaign, I think the Lovecraftian influence is definitely apparent in the mutated forms of Duger and now Lady Emeth. But also, Imogen's dreams bring to mind the dreams of artists being influenced by the stirrings of elder gods that we get in the Lovecraftian universe. In any event, this was an amazing, funny, exciting, surprising episode. The sort of episode that sticks, which I am sure all critters who watched are absolutely enthralled by. I cannot wait for next week. By the way, I'm also reviewing The Legend of Vox Machina on Amazon Prime, which you can see here. Until we meet again, may all the books you read and the campaigns you play in be blessed.